number 1, I'm giving you my best value bet to win the race, and that is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. You can find him at 45 to 1 at Caesars Sportsbook. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., I wrote about him in my article at the Action Network, but he's just a really good drafting track driver. He has 2 career wins at drafting tracks and multiple other top 5 finishes. Since 2017, when he really figured out those drafting tracks, he actually is 8th among active drivers in percentage of laps led relative to the number of laps run. So he definitely can run at the front in these drafting tracks. Earlier this year at Atlanta, he did lead. He actually led 11% of the laps he ran before spinning out from the lead when a tire went flat, which of course not his fault there. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr., he needs to win to get into the playoffs. I really like him at 45 to 1 at Caesars Sportsbook. I would bet him all the way down to 35 to 1. For pick number 2, I'm looking at the top 10 market, and I am going with Ty Dillon at plus 650 to finish inside the top 10. You can get that at FanDuel. Ty Dillon does have a 23.8% career top 10 rate at drafting tracks, and that 23.8% rate comes despite the fact that he's run in some pretty inferior equipment throughout his Cup career. He ran 11th in this year's Daytona 500, missing out on 10th place by 1 foot. And yes, I was on him for that Daytona race to finish inside the top 10, and that was at plus 350 odds, so I really like plus 650 that we're getting at FanDuel. He unfortunately crashed in lap 101 in the first Atlanta race, but if his teammate Aric Jones is any indication, that petty GMS team does have the ability to run up front at Atlanta. Aric Jones was running towards the front for much of that race, and Ty Dillon did qualify in the 18th position in that race. So 23.8% career top 10 rate versus 13.3% implied odds at 6.5 to 1. I think you have to go with Ty Dillon to finish in the top 10. And as always, for pick number 3, I'm giving you my pick to win. And this one was really hard to figure out because there's nearly 30 cars that could win this race. So I went to the trusty random fantasy pick that I had this week, and that is Aric Almirola. You can get him 35 to 1 to win at PointsBet. All jokes aside about the random fantasy, he actually has won twice in his career at super speedways and is one of the better super speedway drivers out there. Earlier this year at Atlanta, Aric Almirola was in contention. He ran up front for most of the race, and coming out of the pits after the last pit stop on that last segment, Aric Almirola was leading the field to the green flag and led 6 laps before, unfortunately for him, getting passed and then ultimately finishing 22nd, but it's just as easy that he could have finished somewhere up front had circumstances been a little different. Like Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Aric Almirola needs a win to get into the playoffs because now he is on the outside looking in with Tyler Reddick's win last week. So Aric Almirola, my pick to win at 35 to 1 odds. That's it for this week's NASCAR Daily Action Picks. Be sure to tune in next week as we go to New Hampshire, where Aric Almirola is the defending race winner. So good luck with your bets, everyone, this week, and we'll see you next week.